Hi guys, how you doing? Senior Gaming here, and I'm bringing you Pixel Fantasia with 10 tips for beginners. So if you're Pixel Fantasia player or perhaps idle gamer, then make sure you subscribe to the channel as I post as often as possible and bring you best tips and advice. And if you enjoy what you see, then hit that like button as well. Right then guys, so I brought for you 10 tips which I strongly believe will progress you nicely from normal all the way to hard difficulty. Bear in mind we also got very hard, so perhaps in the nearest future I will release a follow-up video where you can see this intermediate into expert level. Considering so many different aspects of the game and resources, I brought for you tips which I believe you should be focusing on in the first place in order to progress faster. So the first tip will be going straight in, and that's gonna be a main quest. I know these quests are very repetitive, but at the same time they are very simple in order to complete, and if you do so, you actually will be unlocking new aspects of the game. So you might be as strong as possible, but if you do not follow a certain amount of quests, then you won't be able to unlock new content of the game. So be always on top of what is a current demand with the quest. Then tip number 2 will be related to everything related to a gold farming. So obviously, as you currently see on the screen, and that's what you will have with your own game, you will be grinding gold alongside experience at all times. So obviously on a top bar we will see the amount of gold, but actually the main bulk of gold will come from these very rare keys. In order to farm them efficiently, you want to be in an area where you're able to squeeze at least 330 kills per minute, and obviously on the bottom left hand side you can always open this additional tool which will show you how efficient you are. Obviously aim for as high and close to your max area you can, therefore you got a chance of dropping more resources, but at the same time be as efficient as possible. Then tip number 3 will be now to relate everything with spending gold. So if we tap onto growth section, you should definitely prioritize leveling up. Especially on a normal difficulty, the main area I want to focus will be related to damage. So in here we get in a damage as well as defense penetration alongside any other aspects of the game which are defensive. In the later stages, defense also will play a massive part. And then also when it comes to stats, we need to consider there is so many different stats to upgrade. All you want to do in here is pretty much try to spread a gold output evenly. So what I mean by that, you don't want to just go with a critical damage and try to completely max it out. See if, let's say now currently I'm at 3.5 F, I will go and try to upgrade all of the other stats evenly. So basically everything in here is a one of the modifiers which will then benefit if you upgrade in a further ones. So you want to basically split all your stats evenly whenever you can. The number 4 is gonna be abilities, and in here, because we're still on a normal difficulty and a beginner level, you want to go full glass cannon. So the two stats you are aiming for is gonna be a damage output and defense penetration. In the later stages you will be going for a little bit of item grind or a gold output which will be then needed into this dungeon. But to start off, considering that actually getting a magic stones is pretty hard to get, focus mainly on a offense stats. The number 5 is gonna be costumes itself, and basically there is so many different costumes to choose from. Many of them will be via paid currency, but plenty of the costumes can be actually unlocked just by grinding rubies, which you can get absolutely for free and then unlocking these costumes in a game. Then if you do so, you will be actually rolling abilities via a slime piece which you can grind in a dungeon itself. Always go for the ancient tier, this is the best tier in a game, and in the later stages you will be also able to enchant costumes. Because this actually aspect is a pretty wide, I won't be covering it for the next 10 minutes, I will obviously release video related purely to a costumes. But in a nutshell, for the time being, unlock all of them via rubies and then hit for this ancient tier. Alright then, so from here I'm gonna head straight into a tip number 6, and that's gonna be just basically overall spending rubies via summon. So actually again what you want to do in a game is go and try to spend rubies evenly, so you will be needed every single aspect of the game. You want to focus definitely on weapon and a necklace, and these items actually will give you everything related to a boosting damage. So if you are going and spending evenly your rubies, always make sure weapon and necklace is slightly ahead, and this way you will be progressing much faster. Then tip number 7 is going to be related to a spirit itself. Again, another massive aspect to cover, but in a nutshell, I want you to go with a top 3 spirits you can go. Bear in mind, this strategy is for progressing stages, but essentially if you progress on these very 3 spirits, it will benefit you in the long run. There are also strategies for a farming, but as it stands, I'm actually keep running on these very 3 spirits. So you go in mainly with Endymion, which is a grade with actually reducing enemy defense, which will always help you to progress further stages. You also run in here with Athena. As you see, one of the buffs is to greatly increase critical attack, and you also run in here with Sekhmet to increase attack speed. Obviously these got another 2 extra skills which will help you to grind in a long run, but this is a 3 of the spirits that will always boost your progress, especially if you try to progress into a hard and a very hard in the later stages. When it comes to passive skills, again, you'll be going here a full glass cannon. Everything related to miscellaneous like gold experience, you just go and upgrade by default. But when you got a selection of actually spending this very currency, which is gonna be a contract stone, you do not go for HP region or defense rate, you go pure in a damage output, everything you can grind. Okay, so then straight into tip number 8, and this is aura itself. As again, you're gonna have plenty to choose from. We're gonna head into items itself, and the aura is just below ring. You want to actually go and equip a void aura in a long run, because the 3 spirits I have actually showed you, they are all from the very same element, and these aura will boost it even further. In the later stages, you'll be able obviously to have any other element when it comes to nature, frost or fire, and this will follow up with other strategies for a farming, but in a long run, a void alongside spirit itself will take you places, so it's a good starting point to obviously start focusing your attention in this very aspect. Then actually we're going into tip number 9, and that's going to be a pets itself. So if I tap on a support and pet, you basically want to try and squeeze and summon as many pets as possible all the way to T, especially to start with. Obviously you will add your top 6, and then bear in mind you want to level up every single one of them. As you see, this one is nearly level 5k, and everything else is a very similar level, as these will permanently boost your overall passive damage, HP and HP regen. So you not only upgrading the pets, you actually gearing, you want to upgrade every single one of them, because these are very passive bonuses. Then we're going into last tip number 10, and again we're gonna find it in a skill book. So in here, if you got any spare resources when it comes to rubies, you want to obviously start spending on a very ordinary skill books. Obviously ancient relics will come a little bit later on. Good indication is when you get to a 50-60% of the very first 2. This is obviously starting getting your chances lower. Bear in mind, everything else will be still on a massively high chance to upgrade, as these are very rare and hard to get. So I would say every single time you've got some spare resources, you should be coming back and getting some skill books. And then finally, one extra bonus round for you is what you want to get from shop on daily basis. If we tap on a basic one, you want to get all the keys and tickets, obviously to boost your dungeon output, and a token exchange shop. If I scroll all the way down, because I already purchased it, you want to get purified souls on daily basis. Not necessarily you're gonna use a lot of that on a normal difficulties, but in the later stages you will need absolute tons and tons of that, so you want to start grinding it from day one. And obviously in here it's a additional ticket that you are able to watch by ads every single day and get yourself 6,000 of that very resource. So that will be it, guys, in a nutshell. Obviously there is so many different aspects of the game which I will have to go and expand in a separate videos, but this is a great starting point and that should definitely take you places. Thank you very much, guys, for watching, and as always, I'll see you next time.